and you want them to go to places and spaces, and you're trying to drag people to a place and space they don't have an appetite for. It's frustrating. I can't do what I'm attempting to do in you while you're around people who are constantly reminding you of who you were. Did you hear what I just said? He's saying, Abraham, for you, I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, but for Abraham, for you, your success is going to require some separation, because there are some people who aren't going to ever let you be Abraham. They like Abram. They stuck with Abram. They stuck on Abram. They love Abram, even though Abram is an inferior version of you. They love Abram and you don't. Did you hear what I just said? You do know some people love a version of you don't love. Do you, come on now, let's be honest. Some people loved you when you didn't love some people love a version of you that you didn't love and that you couldn't love. So in Genesis 12, God says to Abraham, what I need and want to do in and through you requires me separating you from previous influences. You need new influences. You need to be exposed to different pictures of possibility. This is not saying, Abraham, where you come from is inferior. It's just saying it's no longer necessary. And some people have to get this, because you won't be able to move up if you don't know how to move on. Did you hear what I just said? I said you won't be able to move up if you don't know how to move on. And so do you remember when God told Abraham, Abram, get away from you remember that, right? Okay, so this is what Abraham did. I don't know how we missed this, but we missed this. Alex, he partially obeyed. So he left, but he took some kin with him. I'm in the book, guys. I'm in the book. Genesis chapter 13, verse 5 says, now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had herds and tents. Lot was not his son. He hadn't had any sons yet. There is no Isaac. There is no Ishmael. Lot's his nephew. So God says, I want you to leave. He left. He just took something with him. Because everyone we love isn't assigned to land where we're going to land. I don't have time to deal with this, but you don't have to say amen, especially, and don't tell on yourself in the chat, but just wink at your boy or something if you know what it's like to deal with the frustration of trying to drag people to a level they don't want to go to. Okay, y'all bold in here in New Jersey, like, yes. Yeah, right. No. Have you ever dealt with the frustration of seeing potential in people that they had no desire to tap into? And so God's trying to take you to places and spaces, and you want them to go to places and spaces, and you're trying to drag people to a place and space they don't have an appetite for. It's frustrating. So here's what happens, though. Abraham doesn't see the immediate impact of his actions. He didn't know that what Lot once saw as an act of kindness and generosity would at one point become something Lot felt like he was entitled to. And we have to pause for the cause and talk about the emotional epidemic of entitlement. It is ubiquitous. It is everywhere. every demographic, in every socioeconomic status. You have people that have everything and feel entitled, and people that have nothing and feel entitled. Entitlement, where you are going over and beyond what is required, what is reasonable, and what is warranted for people who are only appreciative until the next time that you have to give them a no. Entitlement isn't just in children and parents. Entitlement can show up in marriages. Entitlement can show up in friendships. Entitlement can show up in church. Am I making sense? Entitlement can show up in work relationships. And Abram doesn't see the immediate consequences of his actions until they get to a certain place and space where the land could no longer support them both because of their growth. Genesis 13 verse 8 says this: so Abram said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between me and you, between your herders and mine, for we're close relative. It's not the whole land before you. Let's part company. If you go left, I'll go right. If you go to the right, I'll go left. See, what's happening is Abraham's stock and flock is growing, and so is Lot's. And now the land can't support them, their tribes, and their flocks. It's not enough space. So now it's creating tension, because growth creates tension. Did you hear what I just said? Growth doesn't just solve problems. Growth creates some problems. Growth not only gives us a revelation of what we do want. You got it right here on the front. Growth also gives us a revelation of what we don't want, what we can no longer tolerate, what is no longer suitable or appropriate for us. Now watch this, guys. I love what Abraham does here. It's so wise. He says, in order for us to keep peace, I need to adjust my proximity. You know, he's saying we can't stay this close and stay cool. This is a complete reframing. Are y'all here? Okay. He says, I want you to catch this. He's saying, I want you to catch this. He's saying, the adjustments that I'm making aren't a problem. I need to make these adjustments so it won't be one. I'm not making these adjustments, Lot, because I don't like you. I'm making these adjustments because I love you. And if I don't make these adjustments, we might not have a relationship at all. Yeah, I mean, are y'all okay? He said, I need to make these adjustments, not because I dislike the relationship. I'm not trying to destroy the relationship. I'm trying to preserve the relationship. And if we keep going the way that we're going, the only way we both going to be able to stay here is if I stop growing. I'm going to say that, okay. Are you hearing me? He said, my flock can't keep growing and us stay this close. And some of us know what it's like to suffer from intentional stunted growth, to preserve proximity to those that don't have an appetite for it. Some of y'all are like, what kind of message is this? What is this? So watch what Abram does. He says, listen, I'm going to let you pick where you want to go. See that? I'm not even going to bother that. But there's this tendency, just overly accommodating. And I'm getting ready to show you where it doesn't serve Lot well. I'm getting ready to show you where he thinks he's helping Lot, but he's not. He's just enabling him. Listen to me, family. He says, Lot, wherever you go, I'm going to go. Okay, and so the Bible said, you go this way, I'm going to go that way.